Absolute Radio. Absolute Radio.
Welcome to the Not the Weekend podcast for Absolute Radio. I'm Frank Skinner, and I'm here with Emily and Gareth.
Hello.
Hi. And it's our last one with you, Frank, for ages.
It is. In fact, I don't even know if the midweek podcast are continuing
Oh.
until I get back. But we'll see about that. But anyway,
Wednesday morning.
even that sounded slightly mournful. But hey, let's be up and excited. What an event I had this week!
What happened?
I ordered a whole crab.
Oh, wow.
I was in a restaurant in Brighton,
Yeah.
and I thought I haven't eaten a whole. Well, I've never eaten a whole crab. My dad used to come back from the pub on Saturday afternoons, often with a whole crab, which meant
What,
for a very very slow walk. Imagine, and sideways.
Just clutching it?
Yeah, it was wrapped in newspaper.
Oh.
And he used to sit and watch the sport, the results and horse racing results and all that. And he used to eat everything. I remember him cracking the very thinnest elements of the crab.
Yeah.
And he used to get the little bit of crab out with a hair grip.
Did he?
And he'd do the whole thing. You couldn't find a smear of white meat when he'd finished. He used to sock the pincers.
I love that. I love fiddly food.
Do you? I don't, you see.
Do you not?
I like someone to do the dressing for me.
No, I said my favourite would be blancmange.
Oh.
Anything more fiddly than that, I'm not interested. I like chops. I've always liked the fact that chops come with a handle.
Okay.
I like this 70s wedding. Blancmange and chops.
People still eat chops. Do they?
Well, not really.
What do you mean that not really?
Not with those little white chef's hats on the end, which I know you favour.
Well, I bet you're one of these people that just presses out the meat like just from the centre, like a medallion, and leaves the string of fat across the top. In many ways, the best bit. Anyway, so it was really very nostalgic meal, and there's not. I discovered there's not that much on them when it comes down to it. It's mainly shell and bone.
Really?
So you've been warned.
Okay.
But I noticed when we went out for lunch the other day, because we're very communal, us three, there was a new thing. As we go to a place called Totten's, which is in Covent Garden, and there was a thing on the blackboard I've never seen before. It was the chef's recommendation.
Oh.
And, it put me off the whole experience, the fact that there was a chef's recommendation.
Did it? Why?
Because I had an image of the chef, someone saying, Luigi, we need your recommendation. What is this, a new thing? Yes. And then he must have gone down the menu going, no, not recommending that. No. Mm-mm. And then he finally recommends it. It made me think less of everything.
Oh, so it made the emissions seem worse.
Exactly.
I know what you mean.
Yeah, you don't want any emissions on the menu.
I never look at the blackboard. I get one of the other people on the team. I say, be my eyes. I can't be bogged down with that level of detail.
That's because you won't put your Oh, no, I've got that frog in the throat thing.
Oh. You better sort that out before South Africa. David Baddiel's far less tolerant than us.
No, and I agree with that. So, yeah, I think the chef's recommendation. That's how you say it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Could have just as easily been a list of what the chef is not that crazy about and everything else.
He did recommend the most expensive thing on the menu.
Yeah,
though,
well, I bet he was led.
Mm.
I bet he was led by that. That's my verdict. And I had a slightly embarrassing situation.
What happened?
I've been doing press this week.
Oh, yeah.
I don't mean I've been making cider. I've been doing press interviews.
Yeah.
And so I get a car. I get driven in. I don't get a car.
Yeah.
I get driven in, and I was driven in by Mark, who's been driving me been driving me for a long. I'm just working my way around the language. I'm sometimes thinking, perhaps these pronunciations could be better. So I'm just trying some different ones. And he's very cool, Mark. He's probably the coolest person.
Oh,
I
I've
know.
seen him. Yeah, he's very
we were
cool.
listening to Absolute Radio, and they played London's Calling by The Clash.
Oh, yeah.
And The Clash is quite a cool thing to know. So, it come in with that dun, 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 and I thought, yeah, I'm going to sing this because, hey, man, I'm cool, I like cool music, I'm into The Clash. And I went, London's burning. And I accidentally said the name of a 1990s Sunday night drama series. And I couldn't get out of it.
It's a nursery rhyme.
It was originally a nursery rhyme, yeah.
Oh, how embarrassing, Frank.
Oh, man, it's the word. You know, sometimes I do this thing when you sing a song.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'll sing a song and I'll realise when I come to the rhyme in the second line that I must have got the first
Oh, that's
line
a terrible
wrong because
moment.
it doesn't rhyme anymore. So sometimes I'll try and come up with a word quickly. That's really embarrassing. So anyway, that's enough about me. Let's talk about you guys. So,
Well-
how are things in Bomo?
Well, I'm a bit worried for Bournemouth.
What? What's
Bomo.
Bomo?
That's what
Bomo.
Gareth calls Bournemouth.
Oh,
That's
how
what- that's what all
dreadful.
the- what the hip
Bomo. Don't try and
people
make it
call
sound all
Bournemouth.
cool.
It is
Yeah.
quite cool, Bournemouth.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
You're only saying that because you're from Birmingham. Yes, I love Birmingham.
Burma.
For anyone writes into Burma.
From Burma? Yes, I am from Burma. The news is out.
Anyway, carry on, Gareth. Tell us about Bomo.
I'm a bit worried about the way Bournemouth is going because I've been noticing quite a lot of vandalism.
Right.
Coming out of the main road into Bournemouth, you know when people write something on a bridge?
Not really.
Well,
No, I do. I know
They've
exactly what you
written
mean.
something on the bridge for everyone to see. And what they've written is, and I've changed the name and address
To
for,
protect
to
the
protect
innocent.
protect the innocent. It says Jimmy Black is a police informer and he lives at number 8 Byron Court. And I like that because there's clearly a story behind that.
Did you just change
I
one?
imagine so.
Frank,
Otherwise,
I'm
it
worried
would
that
be
he's just changed
fabulously
one
random.
number in the
I
apartment.
changed quite a lot of it.
Okay.
Yeah. I wonder if he's changed informant to informer and thought that would do it. That's what I'm worried about.
Do you think I've changed my name, Gareth Richards, as a police informer?
Yeah. You don't want to be identified as a police informer, though, on a bridge in Bomo.
No.
No. I like that you're acting like you say Bomo all the time, like it trips off the tongue.
I've taken to Bomo. Because Bournemouth, it's the idea of being born and then some sort of mouth.
Yeah.
I found slimy in the
I know.
extreme. But Bomo, it's got that sort of U2 feel to it as well.
And it sort of split the Bournemouth population because I look at it and think, oh, that guy's, become a police informer. Well, good on him. Standing up against the Bournemouth mobsters.
What do people talk about? Is there a kind of shared cultural reference point with this graffiti? Because that doesn't really happen in London because there's quite a lot of graffiti.
Yeah, what do you make of the Jimmy Black graffiti? Well, I've heard that he is indeed a police informer. Yeah. You see that man that we hear about on the news who's helping police with their inquiries? I always used to think as a child, well, how bad are things for the police that they need voluntary workers to come in and...
And how nice of that man to help them out.
Yeah. I have to say, I find that there's less writing involved in graffiti. I went in a place yesterday in Lambeth, which was like a sort of underground...
Lambo?
Yeah, in Lambo. And there was an underground tunnel. Actually, it might be classed as Vauxhall, but hey, let's call the whole thing South London. And there's a tunnel... And it's absolutely crammed with graffiti. And there's a sign that says, please, no sexist or racist graffiti, no advertising. And I thought, what kind of... The whole thing about graffiti is that it's rule breaking.
Yeah.
You don't want to list them. Anyway, there's almost no writing at all. And I think that's the way. As teens have steadily not been able to read and write as they left school, it's changed the face of graffiti. Graffiti now is just pictures.
Oh, maybe they'll do it in text speak. They can graffiti in that way.
That's what they need. They need spray cans with predictive text.
I saw a really good piece of very middle class graffiti, which was on a tube in Highgate, North London, Nolo. And it was advertising the Daily Mail Ideal Home exhibition.
Graffiti was?
Yeah, no, this poster was.
Oh, okay,
The
I was
graffiti
gonna
was
say,
on the
Christ,
poster.
that's really middle-class graffiti.
Corporate graffiti.
Go to the Ideal Home exhibition.
No, it was on a poster, sorry, I should add. So there was this poster advertising the Daily Mail Ideal Home exhibition. And then there was a picture of Graham Norton, who was endorsing this said event. And was,
Dorset,
sure
isn't it,
it's-
in Bournemouth?
Are you sure it's Ideal Home?
Frank. And he was holding...
I'd love to go to the Ideal Homo exhibition. I mean, it's the quintessence of what a gay man should be. Or woman.
And he was holding a champagne glass, Natch. And someone had, underneath the thing where it said Daily Mail and then Graham Norton with the champagne glass, someone had written there was a bubble coming out of his mouth with the words, "Where is my soul?" Which I thought was so brilliantly.
Well, I remember at the ITV studios, they used to have these pictures, which was like their big stars and their big programmes, and they'd have little captions underneath, and the captions were put in cards, and it just so it would say, for example, "Stars in Their Eyes," and be a picture of Matthew Kelly or something like that. And there was a picture of Michael Barrymore, and someone had taken out the card from underneath the television programme Hornblower and put that under. And I thought that, that's disrespectful too. And I wish I hadn't done it now, looking back.
I once had, I shouldn't say this, there was a photograph of an ex-boyfriend of mine, not on the ITV studios, but on the BBC studios, and I wrote something that I'm not going to tell you what it was, actually, because I don't think I should.
Goodness.
Anyway, you can think
David
about who that might
Attenborough's a bit of an idiot.
It was a bit lacking in information, generally, that anecdote, wasn't it? We don't know who it was or what you wrote.
No.
Okay.
My favourite bit of historical graffiti was to do with the 1832 Reform Bill, and it was written on a wall somewhere, "Damn Lord Grey's bloody head off." It was quite good.
So, yeah. And that's still there. You'd think that would have been removed. It's funny you should say that, because Al Murray, who's doing the show...
My new client, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. He... I don't know if you know this, but he's something like the great-great-great-great-grandson of William Makepeace Thackeray.
Is he really?
Yeah. And they had a load of school books that his parents did that belonged to William Makepeace Thackeray. And someone had scrawled on the front of it, "William Thackeray is a bloody fool." Fabulous piece of graffiti. Marvellous. Now, we had an email, didn't we? About someone's getting married.
Yes, we did. Sorry, that's my email.
Oh, you're getting married?
No! Not yet.
Email Heskey. Carry on.
Dear Frank, Emily and Gareth, my fiancé Paul and I are big fans of the show and have been avidly listening to the back catalogue via the podcast. Oh, I love our back catalogue. If my calculations are correct, Paul will be listening to this just prior to our wedding on 10th of July. It would be fantastic if you could give us a fleeting mention to wish us well on the day. Frank, I know you're not the biggest advocate of marriage, but we've long admired the poetry you conjure and your pearls of wisdom when listeners have contacted the show for advice, and I'm sure a few fitting words will give us a brilliant start to our marriage. Much obliged, Anna in Sunderland.
Anyone who closes an email "much obliged" is already in my good books, I must admit. I wouldn't say I wasn't a great advocate of marriage. I had a failed marriage.
That was some time ago, though.
I've had a few failed gigs. It doesn't mean that I'm anti-gigs. No, I went to a humanist wedding once, and they spoke. When they did the readings, they weren't obviously religious readings, and they read out this poem by Rilke, the German poet, in which he talked about relationships. These people talk about my other half and all that, and he said he was anti that. He says the idea is that you give the other person space to grow as an individual. And what he said is that we are the guardians of each other's solitude. And I thought that was fabulous. So I think that's what's important about any sort of relationship, is that you let the other person be who they are. And if they change, you just gotta let it happen. And I think that is crucial, because I think when you first go out with someone and it's a bit, it's just all that excitement bit. It's a bit like going out for a night. You know what I mean? It's all new and that. But if you've been with someone for a while, they get to be like home.
Yes.
And that's a fabulous state to be at. When you can just be yourself around someone, that's the joy. So I'm hoping that... Sorry, what's their name?
Anna in Sunderland. Much obliged.
Yeah, I'm hoping that Anna and
Paul.
That is achieved. And you should both remember that if you hold your hand open and a bird sits upon it, just let it stay there as long as it wants. It might stay forever. But if you try to hold it tight and hold on to it, you'll kill it.
What if it was a buzzard?
That was a very nice sentiment. Now, don't ruin it.
Okay. That's what I'll be going down the aisle to. So then, what else? Oh, that was a good story. Did you read about the... I saw a fabulous headline in the paper that said, dead elephant becomes fuel. And apparently the Yugoslavs were given an elephant as a nation for their big zoo, and it died recently. It was 42 years old. I don't know how old they normally live, elephants.
I don't know, but that seems a strange age for an animal, quite a human sort of age.
42?
Yeah.
That's quite young for a... It was in a car crash. They were moving it from one zoo to the other, and the driver lost control, and the elephant was flung through a sunroof. That'd be scary, wouldn't it? Sit in a cafe and see that happening. So anyway,
put his belt on.
So what they've done, they've taken the dead body of the elephant. And when I say they've taken it, how you lift that, I can't imagine.
Wow, exactly.
Maybe you saw it up, take it out in separate sacks. But and they've turned it into biofuel, which I think is a...
Oh, that's responsible.
Yeah.
Well, they said they wanted to do something to honour the elephant's memory.
Yeah.
And that's what they did. They turned it into fuel.
Yeah. Of course, the elephant's memory is so long. What they should have done is they should have steamrolled it and used it as carpet at national events. I think it'd be great if there was a special elephant biofuel pump. And instead of the normal pump, it was a trunk coming out the side. That's
I
what
would
you
love
fill your
that.
tank with. Wouldn't that be a...
Be a bit
movie?
wrinkly, though, that one.
Yes.
A wrinkly slide.
Yeah.
Yeah, another
I would
wrinkly
like that.
slide. I liked it, though. I like the idea of animals being reprocessed.
So is there much energy in an elephant?
I think it said there was enough to power a Dyson. I think Dyson ball, I think was what they said. A Dyson ball.
Dyson ball.
A Dyson ball for 7.5 minutes, I think they said.
Wow.
But
I could keep one in my backyard.
It needs to be used sparingly. Yeah, you don't want to buy one every time you hoover.
That would be impractical.
Yeah, I was going to hoover, but the dead elephant hasn't turned up.
Famously, you could go to Harrods and order one, couldn't you? They've got a bit stricter about these animal controls now, though.
What, an
Well, you
elephant?
can buy an elephant
In the
from Harrods.
70s, that was one of the kind of, like John Lewis, Never Knowingly Undersold. That was one of the things that, well, my parents told me this, I don't know if it's true, that Harrods, you could say if you wanted an elephant, you could get one from Harrods.
Alive or
need-
dead?
Yeah, a live elephant.
If you needed
Okay.
to hoover.
But then, as I say, they're much stricter now, possibly, about bringing it into the country.
You could say, could you have it? Could you kill it for me? I'm using it for fuel. Yeah. In fact, could you put it into petrol cans? No, I thought, and coincidentally, I read an interview with Susan Boyle this week, and through a medium, and she said that at her funeral, the tune she'd like to be played was Nelly the Elephant.
Huh.
That's a strange choice.
Yeah, as in Nelly the Elephant packed her trunks and said goodbye to the
I'm
sun.
familiar with the work.
Just helping you out. Yeah, so it got me thinking, well, what would I like?
What would you like? Best we have this conversation now. I know it's a bit bleak.
I think we should all agree that we go for...
Oh!
No, I wouldn't want that. The thing is, what's great about that tune is I wouldn't have it at my funeral because it's too depressing.
It's too depressing.
It would actually drag the mood down at a funeral. That's how bad it is. Because there are some... When you hear that, you think of so many people who'd benefit from a funeral. So,
Well, exactly.
Yeah, no, I've always fancied the theme tune from Bonanza.
Oh,
You know,
that's a
ding,
good one.
ding, 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 ding. Malcolm Hardy, the famous comedian,
Yeah.
when his coffin left the church, they played "Return to Sender."
That is good.
That is
I
fabulous.
like that. I'd like that Verve song, The Drugs Don't Work. Because they wouldn't have by that point.
No, probably that would have been, yeah.
I do want people to cry, though. I'm just flagging this up. People say, oh, I want That's Life and it to be uplifting. I don't want that.
Yeah, no,
I want everyone
I
to be
agree.
really upset and sad. And I want a montage of my life with airbrush photos of me, possibly doing some charity work or holding children and things.
Yeah,
Just so
I
you know.
agree. When
Yeah,
people
don't
say
you?
don't wear black, we want it to be a celebration.
No, don't.
No, don't celebrate at my funeral.
Did you say don't wear blank? See, he's forever on your mind, that man, isn't he?
I know who I want to cater my funeral.
Well, he'll be there.
I don't know.
Oh.
I don't know that.
You'll outlive Blanc.
No, I don't think you'll
I
outlive
don't know,
Blanc.
this sore throat is nasty.
No one's going to outlive Blanc.
No, I think Blanc has already got one foot in the souffle.
Cockroaches and Blanc, that's what they say.
1 foot in
that
the
what they
gravy.
say?
Yeah. That's who'll outlive all of us.
Cockroaches and Blanc. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I never heard that one before. But, is that something that he serves at one of his restaurants? Oh, Raymond. So, yeah, I sort of respected Susan Boyle for that, though.
Thinking about her own death.
No, the fact that she's sort of light-hearted about it. 'Cause I sort of imagine that she's someone, apart from that wiggle that she does, I don't imagine she's a big laugh, but maybe I've been wrong about her.
Yeah, but that wiggle doesn't illustrate to me that she's got a good sense of humour. It just illustrates she's slightly mentally unwell.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I mean, I think it'd be good if she had the theme from Psycho. Played at the...
She did also say she wanted the whole of the dance troupe diversity nailed in the coffin with her.
Yeah.
So that's...
Nailed in the coffin?
Yeah.
Well, that's over the top, isn't it? I don't know why they couldn't just nestle around her.
Yeah.
They could lie amongst her. Yeah.
Have you chosen a song, Gareth?
Oh,
No.
I haven't thought of a song for my
No,
funeral.
you haven't thought of one. Well, perhaps we can think of one. I think there's only one, isn't there?
Yeah.
I just think of the people's names coming up and the credits with this.
No, but you get then the vicar can say, "No, we will bury him only once."
Yeah.
Yeah. Gareth Ruchar. Yeah, fabulous. Hello themed. So it's a slightly ironic title for a funeral. Hello.
Goodbye.
Oh well. So now, what was your? I love a fashion point. I don't know many people
Oh,
are
you
into
love a bit of
fashion.
fashion.
Emily's just about my only contact with the fashion world.
Well, there was a story this week, and they did a survey talking about the top 10 fashions that men hate. So on this list, because sometimes with guys, it's like I'll tell you the things first, then you can make your mind up. On the list was Uggs, leggings, and oversized sunglasses are 3 things for you to get your head round.
Right.
Surely oversized sunglasses are something to get around your head.
Well, exactly. But I was interested, what fashion items do you guys hate? Because, it's that thing with men that I think sometimes when you go too fashiony, men don't understand it. They essentially like you to show off your assets. If you're wearing a top, they go, why are you wearing... What? Well, they do. They're like, why are you wearing that scarf? And it's like, I can't see your la-las, basically, is what that means.
Oh.
It's true, though. Why aren't you wearing a miniskirt?
Do men actually say that to you?
Yeah.
Why aren't you wearing a miniskirt?
Yeah.
Oh, no, that's people who want their women bespoke.
I've never been that assertive.
No.
No, well, I just think that's... I think
So
that's
what clothes don't you guys
Well,
like?
the ones you've listed are ones I'm particularly partial to.
Oh,
I
Frank?
think an Ogg boot and a bare leg is a fabulous combo.
Like Ugg boots.
Oh, I think that's a real great combo.
Do you?
What was the other ones?
Leggings.
I love leggings.
Do you?
Fabulous. Not floral, but but yeah, I like leggings.
I'll tell you what I don't like with leggings. I don't like jeggings.
Oh, I like that you know the difference.
Yeah, which are they're supposed to be like denim or denim effect leggings, are they?
No.
What are they? What are jeggings?
Well,
Oh,
jeggings...
see, what's happened is you've
God,
cleverly used a
Terrible
piece
faux
of
pas.
the
No,
inside world, and you don't know what it's about.
No, I might let you have that. Go on, I might let you have that.
Half a point?
Well, they're not really. You're talking about tight denim. That's different. That's not the same as jeggings.
What are
really.
jeggings
You've
then?
made a complete fool of yourself. Why try and dress it up in any other way? What are jeggings?
They're just those things. They're like half tight, half legging.
What are the ones that have a bit that comes underneath the foot that hold them down? I like those.
Well, a jegging can have that
jegging can
sometimes.
have
That's
that as well.
yeah.
What I particularly don't like is a patterned tight.
Don't you?
Oh, I hate those.
Oh, I understand.
I remember them the first time round, and they're coming back now. They look like the legs have been wallpapered.
Oh, you don't like those?
No, they're like it's like a funeral parlour wallpapered leg, and it seems to take all the beauty out of the female leg.
And most men don't like gladiator sandals either.
Oh, I'm happy with those.
Yeah, I like them.
Oh, are
It's
you?
fine, yeah.
Oh God! I'll tell you what I particularly don't like,
What?
and that is a four-breast bra.
Oh yes, Frank's not a big fan. In fact, yeah, we've spotted some.
Yeah,
we do go
right.
spotting. We go.
Are you familiar
What
with
is that?
this?
No,
A
tell me
four-breast
what that
bra is
is.
when a woman has ample breasts, but she wears a bra that isn't quite big enough. So
Right.
you get it looks like a double-decker breast on
Okay.
each side. So there's
Yeah.
like the overfill, and then there's a bra
A
underneath.
two-tiered effect.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I don't like that at all.
But that's not. Do you know? That's not fashion. That's just slovenly. Really.
Yeah, I think it's women who just can't admit that they've got big breasts. And I think, that you need to
Nothing to
embrace
be ashamed of, nothing to be afeared of.
No, indeed. And I also, there was something that I used to dislike, and I've had a complete change of heart on it, and that's the pop sock.
Oh, really?
There was a time when I thought the pop sock was, and I'm talking about the high, not the short one that one might put on for trying on shoes.
You're talking about knee length.
I'm talking about knee length. And I used to think, oh no, the least sexy thing you can ever have is a pop sock. And then I think when I moved to London, and you see lots of Oriental women, and they up front the pop sock.
Oh yeah.
Do you know what I
well,
mean?
it's very fashionable now with a high heel.
Yeah, and now I've grown to really like them. So if there's things that you don't like in women's fashion, you people who are listening, don't give up, because it's amazing how that can change. What else?
Oh, I wanted to raise something. Now,
Okay. Let's just get the webcam on.
Did anyone hear this week that, or last week I think it was, that they were making a film? It was an adaptation of The Hobbit.
It's an MGM thing.
Quite excited about that.
No, don't be, because it's all gone wrong. The director's walked out. It's all in disarray.
Oh no, what's his name? Who did Pan's Labyrinth?
Yeah. But this isn't filmed 2010, so that's not why I'm raising it.
Oh.
What I'm here to talk about...
Who is Pam?
Friend of Raymond Blanc.
I think I remember Pam's Labyrinth. Birmingham in the late 70s.
So anyway, there's a strong chance the film... They might not make the film. Now, I actually wasn't that unhappy to hear this, because I have to say, I loathe fantasy. I absolutely detest it. I can't bear anything like that. Oh, sort of creatures and elves and things. And...
What about orcs?
Oh, don't get me started on orcs.
Okay.
I can't bear them. And so I actually realised this at quite a young age, because my mum bought me a copy of The Hobbit, and I opened the book and I started reading it, and the first line was, "In a hole in the ground there lived a hobbit." And I literally just slammed the book shut, and I thought there's nothing would induce me to read on from that sentence.
Right.
Why would I read on?
I'm surprised that you were shocked. That was one of the details of the story of a book called The Hobbit. I suppose you could have thought he would be above the ground.
Be a bit more experimental. Why am I going to read about some awful creature living in a hole?
I know what you mean. I mean, I'm a page 69 man myself, so I think I mentioned on the show.
What's that again? If
I'm going to buy a novel or any book, really, I'll read page 69, and if I like that, I buy the book, and if I don't, I don't.
Oh, does it work?
It does generally. The theory is that by then the author is in full flow. So whereas at the beginning, but I'm in an opening sentence. I tell you, I'm sort of. I don't like what I would call wet novels, and they're
What
often.
do you mean?
They're often
when you drop it in the bath and it gets all sort of all swells up.
I don't like that sort of middle classness about some novel. If a sentence has got a woman's name in the first.
You don't like it?
Yeah, I'm not keen about that. Or if the action is initially set at a kitchen table.
Oh, I know what you mean. You don't like that. See, I quite like that. I think, we're getting nice relationships and things. Love it.
No, I hate all that. If you can imagine that the first sentence might be, Linda gazed into the mirror searching for grey hairs. I'm out of there.
Yeah,
I don't want that book. I don't want to know anything about that book.
I'm in like Flynn.
And I dismissed the author. Or... The children were staying in Winchester with my mother. No, thank you. Not for me. I want something that's a bit gritty.
What about, I know what put me off. I was christened Amanda Louise Holden. I wouldn't read any further than that, would you?
Not unless it was about someone who changed their name. Because they so hated Amanda Holden.
I think if a book started, it was a sort of thing where you really had to be there. That would be a bad start to a book.
Frank Skinner on Absolute Radio.
Absolute Radio.